What's up, folks? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to talk to you guys about a collaboration that we have here, and that's basically hosted by Spear Dude, the top 20 Eminem songs. So this is my list, and I'm going to get to it. So at number 20, we have Spacebound. Basically, this record is kind of a Spacebound is a late single from Recovery. Really didn't get enough attention, but I still liked it. I definitely liked the acoustic feel to it. I really enjoyed the hook on there. It was a great hook. Eminem's lyrics were nice on there. Just kind of a more laid back. It's a relationship song. It's not quite as club oriented or crunchy, but it has a lot of good feels about it and. I would definitely have to say. I mean, the thing about it is most of the songs that get the lion's share of the attention off Recovery would be songs like "Not Afraid" and "Love the Way You Lie," but this one showed up, 8, 9, 10 months after the album came out, and basically it was a secret song in a lot of ways, just because it did like what Superman and songs like "Sing for the Moment" did for like the Eminem show, where it was kind of like okay, the promotion of this album is kind of almost over, but we've got one last gem that we can try to crank out. It didn't chart that high, and for the most part, I don't know how many folks remember this song that often, but it was definitely another good reason to appreciate Recovery. Number 19 is Stan. Now, the thing about this song, I'd have to say that most Eminem fans at this stage are probably going to say that Stan is a classic Eminem song, and that's the truth. It basically is. If you like Eminem, there's pretty much over a 90% chance that you should like Stan. It's just kind of the way it is. I mean, really, it's one of his best songs. The lyrics on there has a great sample, great song topic. It created like a dictionary term. Like the term "stan" is actually, I think, at this stage in the dictionary, and it's mostly because of this song. So it had a lot of impact. It's a classic off of the Marshall Mathers LP. I didn't put this higher on the list just because this is a critic's favorite, and I wanted to kind of show appreciation for a lot more Eminem songs because he's done way more than that. But number 18 is Blow My Buzz off of the Devil's Night album. Thing about this song is I really liked Eminem's lyrics on here. I mean, he goes first on this song, and I'm glad he does because he talks about the drug lyrics, spending a G in the vending machine, and that sort of stuff. I mean, that's something that Eminem probably would do is spend like $1,000 in a vending machine, basically buying every food and snack in there. It's pretty clever to sit there and hear him say that. And that was back when Eminem was more manic and kind of just really cut loose and just felt comfortable. I mean, really, it wasn't maybe a song that you would have heard on a typical Eminem album, but you kind of got an extra sense of some stuff he wouldn't have said otherwise. Number 17 is Lock It Up. This is actually a recent Eminem song. I don't know how the other folks think about it, but I really didn't pick too many Eminem projects past like Hell the sequel. But the whole thing about it is this is an example of a song that I give Eminem credit for at least kind of getting some of his swagger back. And that's kind of the thing. I feel like this is a Dr. Dre beat. Lock It Up was produced by Dr. Dre. Great beat on here. Eminem doesn't overly kill the song. The lyrics and the flow are on point. And this is the type of song that Eminem is allowed to destroy it, but not in a way where it's overkill. And that's something that needs to happen with more Eminem songs. He doesn't try to rap too quickly, doesn't try to get too sloppy, doesn't try to get too vicious. He goes in on the song. And it's just like, yeah, Dr. Dre and Eminem are a classic mixture. And Dr. Dre and Eminem are a classic mixture, and after it being basically almost 10 years since they've collaborated together, this proves that. 10 years later, they still have the magic, and that's definitely good. Number 16 is Puke. Now, this is a funny song. This is off of Encore, and I definitely felt like this song was extremely funny. Eminem doesn't really make songs like this anymore. If you like the song Ass Like That, even if you hate the song Ass Like That, I mean, I still feel like it's original just because there's not too many songs like Ass Like That out there that just have that comedic pitch to it. has a melody in the verses. He could have just rapped lyrics, but he kind of had a melody. He was doing like an R&B type thing with the way he did it. And Puke was another example of that. So Eminem kind of did some slight R&B songs on Encore. I want to say that there was like another one like Crazy in Love where he did that also, but he did that a few times and they were actually to varied success. And I felt like Puke, he really hated Kim on that song. He really went in, he made a clever thing from it. And really, I can't think of too many people that have talked about just the topic puke in terms of some person that makes them want to retch. That's a good, clever topic. Number 15 is White America. This is Eminem stepping into politics, and I definitely appreciate that because, so many things that people say about rap these days is it doesn't have something meaningful, it's tasteless, and it's just about bitches and cars and drugs and that sort of stuff. But Eminem is like, hey, he doesn't like George Bush. This is what he thought of the White House. This is what he thought of September 11th back in early 2002. So this was original. I mean, not too many mainstream rappers were really talking about like 9/11 and stuff back in those days. So this was definitely a good thing there. Number 14 is Like Toy Soldiers. This is, when people will talk about diss records and say things like, like Kill Shot was a great Eminem record or something like that. Whole thing about it is this is kind of the aftermath of a diss record. All the diss records that got launched towards Ja Rule and Benzino and those type people, Limp Bizkit and some of those folks, Everlast. This is kind of the aftermath of Eminem thinking of himself as kind of like a pawn. Him and 50 Cent are just potential people that are going to get capped and fucked over, kind of like Tupac did and Biggie did back in those days, and him kind of being prophetic and thinking that the same thing's going to happen to him and 50 Cent and some of them. I liked it. I love the sample on here. Really great sample. Lyrics were simple enough. One of the best songs from Encore. He just nailed it in so many cases. I mean, people said that Encore is a mixed bag, but Encore really made it to like the 5th or 6th single, and it's songs like this that proved that he could do it. Number 13 was Shake That. If you're wondering where this record launched, it was basically off of Curtain Call, kind of a secret project that was Eminem's greatest hits album. It had 3 new songs, had When I'm Gone, Shake That, and then Fack. So Shake That was the second single after When I'm Gone kind of dried up. It came out in early 2006, right before Proof died. It was basically the last song before Eminem completely went on hiatus and really got into drugs. So he was still trying to reconcile with Kim back in those days, and it was just kind of, yeah, I mean, it was a club song by Eminem. Nate Dogg really killed the hook. He knocked it out of the park. Eminem this is such a quiet Eminem song. I mean, he really doesn't do songs like this very often. It was just out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do a club song. It worked. It charted really high. And it was just kind of a more seldom seen Eminem that I think most people probably don't even pay enough attention to when you bring up Eminem these days. So, number 12 is Cleaning Out My Closet. I definitely felt like with Cleaning Out My Closet that this is classic Eminem. This is back when Eminem was in his prime. Everything he did went gold. He had the Midas touch. He was on the verge of finding 50 Cent, or he had just found 50 Cent. He had the success of Without Me. Encore is a classic album, basically almost sold 1 million first week. He was on television all the time. Everything he did was just right there and that sort of thing. So Cleaning Out My Closet, I mean, the problem with this song is Eminem made a lot of apologies for it, and he took back everything he said with the song Headlights. He doesn't hate his mother anymore, which is fine, but he doesn't like this song, Cleaning Out My Closet, anymore. And, I wonder if he still performs it. I wonder if he hates it to that degree where he just won't perform it anymore. But it's truly an eviscerating song. Great hook, great music video, great stuff about it. It's memorable, it's quotable, all that sort of stuff. It was Eminem basically on his vicious kill you type vibes, but in a more projected way against his own family. So, number 11, speaking of Kill You, was Kill You. This is one of the most vicious songs that Eminem has done. And of course, it's him and his manic personality. This is Slim Shady in full effect, just getting a sense of like the freak show that was Eminem, especially back in 1999 and 2000 when he really did not care. So he just went in, absolutely no filter, no holds barred. It's memorable. It's basically, I think, the first song that you hear on the Marshall Mathers LP. So he wanted you to know about this song like right away. These are just some of his ass clown songs that he just kind of had some stuff to say, and it was just like, yeah, this is truly the Eminem that didn't care. And so many people can say he needs to do more songs like this. It's not to the point where he has to make songs with this degree, but just kind of the same attitude and pitch. I would take that sort of vibe, come up with a new concept, say something besides "I don't care" in more of a sense like "I hope this happens to you." He could. All right, number 10 is Fastlane. Now, this is the only song I picked off of the Hell the Sequel project, but I definitely wanted to include it just because I felt like Royce the 5'9" and Eminem's collaboration album was really good. The biggest problem with this project is there was not another single that was released to radio just like Fastlane. Fastlane had a great hook, great uh, great company from Royce the 5'9". He can keep up with Eminem lyrically. Eminem was on his recovery type flow. He didn't have a bad flow on there. His lyrics were great. And just an overall enjoyable song. I like this song more than Lighters. I mean, I felt like Lighters was aiming for the ladies and more of had like a pop rap approach, but there needed to be another song to kind of get it back to this vibe. That's the biggest reason why I felt like Hell the Sequel was so brief, is because it needed another song like this. This is like one of Eminem's best singles, I would have to say. It's definitely one of Eminem's best singles. It's up there with Not Afraid and Just Lose Yourself and some of those records, Without Me, some of those. I mean, it may not be in terms of chart appeal, but it definitely is very enjoyable. Number 9 is Mosh, and this is another political Eminem song, but the thing about it was it basically showcases even further why Encore is very underappreciated. I mean, so many folks say it's a bad and crappy project, but Eminem got serious. He wasn't always doing those goofy kind of comical songs. He did some stuff. He did have stuff to say about the second term of George Bush and wondering if that was going to sabotage America. So it's kind of like Toy Soldiers, where he did have stuff to say on this project. He just kind of balanced it. And I would like to kind of get this balance back on more projects, kind of a sense of how that was, because he had like the perfect blend back in those days. Number 8 is Seduction. This is a song this is off of Recovery. I appreciate this song a lot more than I did back when I first started listening to Recovery. It started to really grow on me. I mean, I felt like the hook is a beautiful hook on here. Eminem basically taunting, he's basically in some sort of love triangle and is taunting whoever on here. And he's pretty sneering on the song, and this is really clever. It's one of the more sinister. It's not even the production that's my favorite part of the song. I mean, it's definitely a creepy kind of feel to it, but really, I just like Eminem's lyrics, and I especially like the hook. I mean, it's just a really grand hook, and it does a well job. Number 7 is Drug Ballad. And this is a song I wish that would have gotten a sequel on the Marshall Mathers LP too, but this was basically something that proved Eminem could do album cuts. Songs like Kill You and Drug Ballad and those type records, and Kim, records like that. But Drug Ballad was just Eminem dancing. It was kind of like Blow My Buzz, where he was just kind of dancing around these lyrics, had great stuff to say on the song, had Dina Ray on the song, who he doesn't collaborate with anymore, and they had good chemistry, good combination. Um, really enjoyable. It's just so low key an Eminem song, but the thing about it is, I mean, because he was such a phenomenon, that secondary songs from Eminem like this still felt like they were released as singles. That was definitely good. Number 6 is Ain't Nothing But Music. This is a Dr. Dre beat, and this is a great song off of the Devil's Night project by D12. Eminem goes first on here and basically completely nails it. I mean, this is another one that, um, Eminem throws jabs at Britney Spears and Ben Affleck on this song, so he's doing what he does on like Without Me and The Real Slim Shady, but he just brings D12 along for the ride also. So it just had good things about it. Dr. Dre's on here, D12's on here, the controversial Eminem's on here, so lots of good stuff about it. Number 5 is Superman. Now, I wish I would have heard this song on the radio. I definitely remember hearing Cleaning Out My Closet and Without Me on the radio, but I never heard Superman. That's kind of the thing. This is a great song. It's definitely a secondary Eminem song, but this proves that, like, really, Eminem, a greatest hits album these days by Eminem would probably have to be a double disc. And that's this kind of thing because this is not a primary Eminem song. It's definitely something when you start really getting to know someone, then you introduce this song to them. Because obviously, does it have the size and the star power of like Lose Yourself or Without Me or The Real Slim Shady or records like that? No, but it still is extremely good. It's definitely a triple A Eminem song. That's the thing about it. Number 4 is Role Model. This is probably one of my favorite Eminem beats, and both there's a couple of songs off the Slim Shady LP that rank really high. For some reason, I just prefer that album. But Role Model has a great Dr. Dre beat. Eminem's lyrics are on point, and just the overall topic of him not being someone you should look up to really stands to reason. It just happens to be extremely well, and I listen to this song often. I mean, I still listen to it now, despite how I've heard it hundreds of times by this point, but I still continue to go back to this song because of how addictive it is. Number 3 is Hello. This is off of Relapse. I really like the basicness of this song. I like the beat on there, of course. It's a Dr. Dre beat, but there's just some simple stuff on here, like Eminem basically hooking up with some chick that he meets at a gym. I like the concept behind that, and him saying to some chick named Vivian, wondering if he got her pregnant and if he got an STD or something like that, and basically spending the rest of the day looking for pills and trying to get fucked up and saying like drug dealers give him drugs for free. So it's just a basic concept in the day of the life of Eminem. And it's that kind of stuff. I like those kinds of details where he's just eating nachos and sleeping on couches and waking up and immediately getting fucked up. It's just very vivid pictures off of Relapse, and this is an example of that. Number 2 is Buffalo Bill. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually my all-time number 2 Eminem song, but it's just offhanded. That's about the one I could mess with. So I like it's a real vicious song, horrorcore from Eminem, nice approach, but it shows Eminem how truly manic he could be when he chooses to do horrorcore. And this is actually on Relapse Refill, but basically it could have felt like a single, just Eminem going crazy on there, but I really appreciate it because there's just a lot to appreciate. I just feel like the lyrics are good, and it's just a classic example of horrorcore from Eminem. And okay, so number 1, go ahead, place your bets, take a guess what you think, what album and what song is going to be Acid Roots' number 1 Eminem song. Go ahead. All right, you give up? Are you ready to find out? It's Still Don't Give a Fuck from the Slim Shady LP. Now, this beat is a grandiose beat. I really am emphatically, glad for this beat. It's a great beat. Eminem's lyrics are very much on point. He completely doesn't care. He means it when he says he doesn't care. Talking about cutting you so fast that when your blood spills, it'll still be blue. Basically, a whole bunch of stuff just saying he doesn't care. His worst day on this earth was his first birthday. Some of that stuff. I mean, he had plenty of things to say just to indicate that he was kind of very much a manic personality. I mean, I know I could probably pinpoint some more lyrics, but I don't remember them offhand. I listen to this song probably at least 2 or 3 times a week. I just don't remember every single lyric just off the bat, but I listen. I'm always listening to music, but that's just kind of the thing. I know that it could change, but this is an Eminem song I find myself constantly coming back to. This song and Role Model are just really grand to me. They have great beats, and I'm honestly surprised that Still Don't Give a Fuck was not produced by Dr. Dre. That's really surprising. But it showcased that was him at his craziness. Eminem had several songs where he indicated that he didn't care, but this especially back in 1999. It just was very poignant and just kind of missed just because, Eminem has kind of started to get nicer and has kind of toned it down. But this was an example when he truly was just a complete asshole. So there you have it.